Hi, Radio from Old People's Complaint Desk. How are you today? And today I have a complaint. Yay! I'm going to complain. All right, but before I complain, like, notify, subscribe, share. Like, notify, subscribe, share. Like, notify, subscribe, share, please. Okay, enough. I put it in the front instead of the back like all the rest of the pros that at YouTube do, and that's enough. Good. Hey, today's complaint is skin. Yes, there's so many things to do about a skin with an old person, but I'm going to sit there and talk today about feeling, the sense of feeling that is associated with your skin, like my fingers. I can feel the texture of the complaint desk. I can feel my stubble. Or if it's on an arm, somebody goes like this, can't feel that. Oh, I can't feel that. I can feel this, I can feel that. I can't feel the other thing. All right, that's called. Now, the aspect of not having a developed or a sophisticated sense of touch, from what I understand, I believe that's called benign neuropathy. Benign. It won't kill you. It's amazing. Where do they come up with benign for something like this, right? You ever hear of anybody like that? It's like you can't feel anything under your feet. You can't feel things that you're touching, stuff of that sort. That's what neuropathy is. Neuropathy is the neurotic thing. Terms of neurotic, it's a neuro thing where the nerves just don't do what they're supposed to do in such a way that the sensations on your skin all over start to become numb. Right? Now, you definitely want to go to a doctor and look at it, and they may do something for you, they may not. The way they test it, let's see, they give you a stimulus or a stimuli here, and they have something here that measures how long the electrical impulse takes to get to you. And then they stick a needle in there and dig it around so they touch the nerves because they want to see what your nerve impulse is. So they got two needles and they stick them in. Oh, good. That took 3 milliseconds. Very good. Oh, I don't know. I don't know exactly how they do it, but you want to know how they do it, and you want to go to a doc and have a doc actually diagnose, treat, and etc. All right, but in the meantime, I'm just going to talk to you about my neuropathy. So, my neuropathy happened when I was in my 40s. Yes. I am sitting there on a stationary bike riding, and I feel this little spot in my leg, about a little round spot, about 2 inches, 3 inches up from the kneecap, and I touch. It's numb. That one little spot is numb. Odd, so that's crazy. And then, that was like going on for about a year or so. Then after a while, I finally went, an annual inspection. They call it an exam. I go to the doctor, and what's going on, doc? This is what I've been thinking. Okay, good. Then he noticed it, and then a few years later after that, all of a sudden, gee, the bottom of my feet, I don't really have much feeling on the bottom of my feet and the top of the foot. So he takes this little wheel out, it's got a thing with a wheel on it and got spikes in the wheel, and he runs it up my legs, starting at my toes and up, and he says, tell me when you feel it. And then finally he got to a certain point, I started feeling it, and then he dug it in harder because he was that kind of a guy. But you can tell that when he first started out and he's on near the area near my toes, I didn't feel a thing. All right. And yes, so how many years ago was that? I was under 50, so we're talking, I'm a septuagenarian, so we're saying at least 20 years is the progression on how long this took. So from that one little spot now, we'll take a snapshot, boop, 20 some odd years later. And what do we have? All right, so I can wear a pair of silk gloves. And if I was 20 years old, I'd put on a pair of silk gloves. And that's a little something in between my sensors here and what I'm touching. And that's kind of like how it feels now. It feels like I have a glove on my fingers because my fingers just lack a certain amount of touch sensation. So you know what that means? It means go out and buy a lot of juice glasses, because the juice glasses, they're small and you hold it and you know how to hold it. You hold it based on how much tension you feel in your fingers. Well, if you don't feel any tension after a while, you're kind of on automatic, and all of a sudden, bloop, it just slips from you because you thought you had it. You thought you had it. Somebody might tell you to slow down, but it's not a matter of you slowing down. It's a matter of you actually can't feel the son of a gun, so you don't know how much to grab it. Now, I'm a smoker. I'm sorry. I know. And that doesn't help anything, believe me. All right? But still, hold a cigarette, and all of a sudden the cigarette just drops in a puddle. I just fish it out and go put it in an ashtray. And that's what happens, because I can't feel it. And all of a sudden, boop, it drops. So where it was a long time ago in that one little quarter or 50-cent piece size circle on my leg, now it went to my feet. And then from the feet and the bottom of my bottom of my feet now feel like a leather, somebody else's leather. If I were to take a couple of pieces of leather and glue them to the bottom of my feet and walk around, well, that's how it feels. So you try it. Glue some leather to the bottom of your feet and walk around. It feels just like that. And sometimes the only thing I feel on my feet are pain. Yeah, it's like if a nail goes into the side of the foot because it got too long. Hey, that hurts. That I feel. Yeah, but normal sensation about walking and stepping on a small rock, no. It's the big rocks that get lodged in there. They're the ones that I feel, and I don't feel it right off the bat. I feel it after a while, so I probably had the rock or the pebble sticking in my foot, my toe, for an hour before I actually realized I hurt. And I pulled it out, and after an hour, it makes a big mess. It's a pain in the neck as opposed to immediately, oh, I got a pebble in my shoe. Let me take it out. It doesn't work that way. Then it comes up my feet, up to my legs. I feel it here a little bit more, there a little bit more. It comes up. Eventually, it seems to start from another area, and then it comes down to my hands, my fingers, especially these fingers and these fingers. They're really neuropathized. Those definitely feel like I'm wearing gloves. And it comes up this way and it goes around face more on this side than that side. And that means wherever you touch around there, it's a very slight sensation of something touching. That's neuropathy, how I experience it at any rate. So, what is my history with neuropathy? Sure, I've been to plenty of doctors in the last 25 years, at least once a year for an annual, and there's nothing that anybody can suggest that they do except more tests because it's benign. In other words, neuropathy, I understand, is usually associated with diabetes in some form. So many diabetics will know what I'm talking about when I talk about neuropathy. But the most I've been is pre-diabetic 2 years out of 70, and they call they associate the neuropathy with diabetes. But I'm lucky I just got it anyway, without the diabetes. Okay, good. So I was tested a few times, and like I said, yes, they'll go down to my feet and they'll put an electrode in a needle into my hip. They'll go down to my foot with another electrode, stick it in and try to move it so that it hits a nerve and causes pain, and they measure the impulse and how long it takes. I love that test. They never tell you about that test. I forgot what they call it, an M-gram or something. They don't tell you about it until you get there, and then you never forget it. That's what they did. And what else did they do? You can't really do anything else except sit there and remind me that eventually you're going to need a cane to walk. And it's not because you need a cane to walk because you can't walk, which is a possibility, but you need a cane to be able to determine if you're falling or not, right? Because you're like birds sitting on a wire. They grab the wire, and they have a lot of muscles in here that let them know if they're going this way or that way, and if they're going to fall, then they straighten themselves up. Well, your feet will tell you if you're going to fall. So you stand in one spot and you start to go this way to fall down, you're not going to know about it unless you see something or you have your hand touching something, because your feet are not your muscles. If the neuropathy is there long enough, it starts going deeper than the skin, your muscles aren't going to tell you that you're slipping forward. So if you have your eyes closed and you're not touching the wall or anything, you could quite possibly not completely fall. You'll catch yourself, but you'll trip forward or backwards. Yes, that's the kind of things that happen with neuropathy. What else happens with neuropathy? Yeah, there's falling, so they're going to tell you to watch out for your feet, and then your feet are going to be known as the diabetic's feet, because that's what the term is if you have any issues with your feet. So if your circulation is a little bit bad, or your nail does grow into your toe and it's an ingrown nail and you didn't even know about it, but it's been going on for 2 or 3 months now, but finally it got to the point to where it hurts, yes, they're going to call it a diabetic foot. Bring your diabetic foot in here. We haven't seen it in a long time. Yes, sir. And another thing, and then an acupuncture, let me give you a little tip on that one. A student did acupuncture on me the first time for the feet. She was under supervision of an acupuncturist, and she was learning, and sure, yes, you can work on me. I'm more than happy to support your learning endeavor. And she decided to go directly to the feet and go deep into the nerves to mess with those nerves right into the foot. Well, and again, here's my foot. She goes in like that. I don't feel nothing. It gets into the skin, and then all I feel is pain. It lifted me off the table. So the next time anybody did acupuncture to me, they decided to start with the nerves that were far closer up to my brain that impacted my feet instead of going directly to my feet. That saved an awful lot of pain, and it helped. So what helped me? The neuropathy was helped by acupuncture. It certainly helps with massages help, and so does chiropractic. Man, I used to go 1 day a week. I would go and get, what would I get? I would get a massage, then I would get acupuncture, then I would get a chiropractic adjustment. Boy, that made me feel good. It really felt good. Other than that, but I don't do that anymore because we don't have a chiropractor anywhere near where I live. That's worth a darn. So that's the problem living in the woods. So I don't do anything anymore except, that's the way it goes. So you might have some other experiences to what's going on with neuropathy as it affects you. And if you'd like to leave it in a comment, please do. I like to wonder about how it affects other people. Okay, so we'll come back with our next topic next, and we'll talk about the eyes. I'll see you later. Oh, because the eyes are going to be our next complaint. Okay, hit subscribe. I'll see you later. Hi, this is Wayneo with a disclaimer. The information that I'm providing is not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, and treatment, nor as a substitute for professional mental health care or a substitute for accounting and tax preparation. These stories are my experiences. Go and have your experiences, and may they be guided by competent professional help. And I give public notice that all names are fictitious composites and representing no one person, alive or otherwise. My intent here, as in all cases, is not to malign anyone or anything. Thank you.